to be honest, I'm not in love with Baker Mayfield. He's not an elite quarterback. But this contract, it allows them to have the flexibility to help other players.
This is the Lombardi Line with former NFL executive Michael Lombardi. Now here is your host, Stormy Buonantony, on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
The Steelers go from 12-1 to 10-1 in the division. Still the longest shot, though, in a division that we expect to be very competitive this year. But I agree. It's not that Mike Tomlin's obviously not going to come out and anoint Russell Wilson the starter in this case. They have a lot of faith in Pickett. They have been open about that. They want to bring in some competition for him. And Russell Wilson signing this and agreeing to go to Pittsburgh is showing that he's got the confidence in himself that he'll win that battle. Kenny Pickett, 13 touchdowns, 13 picks in 24 starts there in Pittsburgh. And the last 2 full seasons, Steelers quarterbacks have accounted for 25 total passing touchdowns. He had 26 and 8 picks in 15 games this past year. He had a top 10 passer rating, much improved from the season that he had a year before that was the worst of his career. But you think about all of those weapons that he's going to have on the offensive side of the ball. They got Matt Canada out there, Arthur Smith in, and I think it makes a lot of sense for him. And I think there's no question that he would win that competition come preseason.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting how the locker room reacts, right? Because we know Russell has had some disconnect with the locker room. And Mike Tomlin's not going to tolerate that. And Kenny Pickett was liked in the locker room. I mean, there was frustration on the field at times, and I think the offense was more frustrated with Matt Canada than they were with Kenny Pickett. We shall see. But I think ultimately, how does he connect to this team? Look, we know this. J.J. Watt, when he plays, the Steelers are a better team. And the Steelers have won a lot of games with no offense. Arthur Smith is going to be able to run the football there. That's what he can do. He runs the ball effectively. And, he would have won more games in Atlanta if the quarterback just wouldn't have turned the ball over. And it isn't like, you say, Atlanta has better skill. No, Pittsburgh has better skill players than Atlanta does. I know they've been drafted them in the first round, but they've got better skill. Pickens is better than Drake London. They got Deontay Johnson out there. They've got a really good tight end. And so they've got weapons. So if Russell just plays within the system and is able to operate the system, which I think he can do, this can improve them. Now, can it move their Super Bowl number? I don't think so.
Yeah. Steelers were 10-7 last year. In 6 of those 7 losses, the Steelers offense scored 13 points or fewer. So to that end, if he can just operate this offense and get them to score, 20 points a game, that would be a big boost in those situations. The Broncos now looking to their side of things. They've had 13 different starting quarterbacks since 2016 following Peyton Manning's departure. They have not made the postseason since that Super Bowl. And our favorites to land, Bo Nix or J.J. McCarthy in the draft, in the latest draft odds. But let's go to another quarterback domino that has come down. Baker Mayfield going back to the Bucs. 3-year deal, $50 million guaranteed, but a contract that would be worth as much as $115 million with incentives. So after he has the 1-year prove-it deal, he got the bag there with Tampa.
And I think, to be honest, I'm not in love with Baker Mayfield. He played better. He's not an elite quarterback. But this contract, it allows them to have the flexibility to help other players. Baker didn't take, he didn't get $40 million like Daniel Jones did. He got 33, if that's what you believe based on the numbers. He's got a chance to earn 100. The guarantee, look, he's going to make your team. You promised him the starting quarterback job, so the guarantees don't bother you. The average per year, taking that number away. So I think it's a really good deal for Tampa. Does it improve their odds of going to the Super Bowl? No. But what it does do is allows them to have some extra cash, extra money around cap-wise to then re-sign other players and then help their team improve. They were 9-8 last year. They lose at home with Baker Mayfield to the Saints in a game that, they needed to win, but then they closed out the season, win a playoff game. So Baker's never going to carry this team. What Baker can do is help, if they have the skill players, which they do in Tampa, it can help them help their offense. In year 2, he should be a better player.
If they get this deal done, they bring Mike Evans back, have Antoine Winfield Jr. tagged. He led the Bucs to wins in 5 of their last 6 down the stretch to win the NFC South, make the postseason, get that win over the Eagles, and career high in completion percentage for him this year. 28 touchdowns, were 7th in the league, and over 4,000 pass yards, 9th in the league. We'll see if he can build on it in a division that certainly where things sit currently are very much so up for grabs and some parity there.